We do have a couple of organizations on who have gone through this type of exercise. So over the next 10 minutes, we'll be talking with two customers, one from Admiral Beverage and one from MacLean Power, to discuss kind of really what their journey looked like. So let's go ahead and dive into those stories. So the first person we're going to be talking with is Ted Comstock from Admiral Beverage. Once again, he's got firsthand experience. They implemented both supply and demand planning cloud. So Ted, thanks for joining.
Thank you, Brian. And good afternoon,
Ted,
everybody. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you. You are good. So,
all right,
Ted, just quickly, if you could, maybe a quick introduction of yourself and what your role is at Admiral Beverage.
Yeah, sure. My name is Ted Comstock, and I'm the supply chain manager for Admiral Beverage. Admiral Beverage manufactures and distributes carbonated soft drinks, also known as soda pop, primarily Pepsi products and Keurig Dr. Pepper products. We also manufacture and distribute bottled water. I've been in the beverage industry for about 17 years, 15 of which as a plant manager. About 1 year ago, I was asked to step away from my production role to be the supply chain manager for the company. We did not have a supply chain manager up to that point. Starting out as acting as the project manager for the integration process for cloud and oversee its ongoing use. Since go live, which was the beginning of this year, January 1st, I've now become more of a support position, supporting the users, keeping an eye on cloud's operation, and facilitating continuous improvement projects.
Awesome. So Ted, maybe just a high-level understanding of what prompted Admiral Beverage to implement supply and demand cloud. What were the drivers to why you realized, hey, we need to do something?
Right. So Admiral Beverage has 3 production facilities, one in Wyoming, one in Utah, and one in Idaho. It supports 24 company-owned warehouses. Plus, we distribute to another 24 warehouses that represent affiliated bottlers that we work with and other partner distributors. We have also pretty wide footprint out in the West. We have warehouses in New Mexico, Utah, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, and Alaska. Prior to taking on cloud, each location ordered their own products, sent those orders into the production facilities, and then the production facilities reacted to those orders and tried to base the production schedule off of that. Considering the number of locations, as you can imagine, the warehouse sizes, and the variety of inventory control philosophies, demand on our factories were very sporadic, causing planning and capacity bottlenecks for operations. Where you'd have one warehouse that would look and say, oh, we always kept 10 pallets of Pepsi on hand. Let's order 10. Well, maybe they only needed 5. That would put extra pressure on our factory if everyone was ordering that way, producing more product than was actually needed. Or they wouldn't order enough, and they were always in a, hey, can you help us out and get some product here quickly kind of a thing. So a solution was needed to centralize to a supply planning function and push inventory to warehouses based on historical forecasting algorithm. So we had history at those locations. Why not have a tool to take that history and produce a forecast that we can set up our production schedules towards. So cloud was an obvious choice due to its ability to integrate with, we were already using JD Edwards. And then we had another system called VIP that was managing sales and warehouse inventory at the warehouses. And so being able to combine those was important to us. And then its ability to custom fit to our business needs was a very customizable solution. And it's got a really powerful forecasting engine that's proven beneficial just in the short time that we've been using the product.
Awesome. So, you talked a little bit about the benefits, what has improved, right, for you guys? And, it's been a little bit, right, started in January, but how has your operations improved up to this point? And also, kind of to add on to that, are there specific KPIs or performance indicators that you've been able to see once you guys went through your implementation?
So since we went live, we did do kind of a big bang approach, at least for the Admiral owned locations. So we've been planning for about 21 locations since the beginning of the year. We hope to integrate the remaining locations by the end of the year. But as far as supply chain planning and demand planning and rolling out to all those locations, that was our big bang approach, getting that set up and going first. So production schedules have smoothed out. Soda Pop is a highly promoted product over the holidays. Major holidays like over the summer, the 4th of July, Memorial Day, Christmas, even Super Bowl is considered a holiday in the beverage industry, all represented big spikes in demand. Historically, we had a hard time keeping up with those spikes in demand. And this year has been the smoothest year that we can remember, because we were able to see that demand coming up and plan ahead, start building inventory, and getting the product distributed out to the locations far in advance. So one of the biggest improvements so far, kind of adding on to that, has been reducing our out of stocks. Since the beginning of the year, we've reduced our out of stocks down to about 3%. We started the year hovering around 14%. We came out of the holidays at the end of the year, scrambling, trying to keep up with the demand for that promotional period. But we whittled those down to about 3%, and been holding pretty steady for the last probably 12 to 16 weeks in that 3% range. The last couple of weeks we've been down around under 2, so we are seeing some even additional improvement there. That is our long-term goal, is about 2%. So maybe looking into next year, the year after that, we'll move the line down and start shooting for that lower amount. Total inventory value, so the cost of our inventory on our floor, is down about 8.6% versus where it was last year. And we're still on the low end of the learning curve, right? So we're still working out the kinks on the system and increasing our knowledge of how to use the system. But we've seen good gains so far, so we're very happy and encouraged about that.
Awesome. Well, Ted, one, really appreciate your time. You guys have been great to work with, so thanks for joining. Zach, I'm going to now jump over to you. So we just talked with Ted, right, on the Admiral Beverage side. So Zach Blackwell is with the MacLean Power Systems Group, who similar footprint outside of they do global order promising as well. So Oracle supply chain planning, demand planning, and global order promising. So Zach, thanks for joining. Same thing, as Ted. Are you able to give a quick background of yourself and your role at MacLean?
Yeah, so I'm Zach Blackwell. My career so far has been predominantly in supply chain or either a finance role supporting the supply chain group. Currently acting as demand planning manager here at MacLean Power Systems, responsible for the demand planning team as well as supporting the supply planning functions at our individual plants. So, and as far as MacLean Power Systems, we support distribution and transmission lines, so supporting our grid. Yeah.
Awesome. So, what were, Zach, some of the key challenges that led you guys to look down the path of, hey, we need something else, right? We need supply planning or demand planning or GOP. What drove that decision?
I'd say the largest driver for us was wanting to give a good, accurate original promise date to our customers. Our customers are mostly distributors, where managing their inventory is extremely important. So, if we were relying on fixed marketing lead times in our system to provide that original promise date. We're just looking for something that could give us something a little more dynamic based on our constraints.
Awesome. So could you give us a quick walkthrough of kind of your implementation journey and what that looked like?
Yeah, so our implementation, we started uh, back in December. We were working with Terillium. Started off by identifying internal site leads. Met with Terillium on some workshops about the different modules. Had the site leads involved in the design phase. While all that was going on, they were working on the integration, right, the inbound outbound integration from JD Edwards and Fusion. Um, and then we moved into the different rounds of testing, right? So conference room pilot, then moved into systems integration testing, and finally user acceptance. Um, and then we went live. Uh, we kind of had a mix of what was a functional rollout as well as kind of a phased approach. So our GOP module, demand planning module, we went live with both of those mid-June. And then the supply planning module, we started with a few locations early June and then rolled out to the rest of the organization beginning of July. So um, all locations have been on about a month now. We've been working through kind of our 1 month of post go live support. All the things that kind of you put a lot of work in to get the system going, and then there's just things that um, come at you once you go live. So Terillium's been great in that 1 month to help us troubleshoot those different areas.
Awesome. And then lastly, Zach, what are some of the long-term benefits that you guys anticipate to gain from implementing the Oracle tool?
Yeah, I think it is that it comes back to the original promise state, right? You're given a good original promise state. You become a supplier that your customers can depend on. Um, allows you to grow market share just through that relationship. And then obviously the one side is the upfront promising, but then it's almost the ability to keep that promise, right? The demand at risk screen. We love that because it gives us well in advance, like, hey, we know there's an issue. What can be done today to kind of help us beat that issue? And like I say, we're still pretty early, but in the system, but that's been something we've been able to use fairly quickly after go live. So
Awesome. Well, Zach, thanks to you again for joining. Appreciate you giving us your insights. Um, so, guys, in terms of, I just want to wrap today's webinar, one, thanking everyone for coming, but also to make sure everyone kind of understands there's lots of other customers that have adopted Oracle SCM, right? These are some of the high level, and you'll see a lot of these logos and know lots of these logos, but these are all customers or organizations that have gone through this type of exercise. So it really underscores how SCM can be a transformational part of your business and help with your operations in many ways. Just one call to action. We encourage you guys to please reach out to us. We do free SCM assessments. So what ultimately we'll do is I'll come in with a couple of our solution architects, talk about where your challenges are today, where we feel you have opportunity for improvement, and start talking about how this could be ultimately tailored to you. So feel free to either hit this QR code now or once we send it out after the fact to have us come jump on a call. Would love to talk to you guys about how this could possibly help. I really see this product as being transformational for organizations. So anything we can do to help certainly would be here.